incoming damage, and it does block a lot of bullets, that's for sure. However, it does leave you extremely vulnerable on the sides and the back. Also, this glass part that's in the front of the shield can be destroyed by the enemy, meaning that you're susceptible to direct headshots. So that basically now limits your ability to block incoming damage. You're gonna have a gun, so you have to get up close to people. And overall, I think that the shield is okay at best, but also at the same time, when you get people in close quarter situations, it's a 2-shot, or a 1-shot. If they already have damage done to them, this thing will 1-shot anybody. It also knocks them down so they can't move or call for help or anything. It's kind of a jump scare, if you will, if you're on the receiving end of the shield. But you have to get really close, and the grapple hook is pretty inconsistent at times. I learned that there's a feature you can hold down V and it'll do this auto locking. That's what that was supposed to be. However, the auto locking misses half the time. Now take Shepard, for example. I did the drone in this area where the enemy, they cannot shoot that drone. It's in the building, right? It's behind a wall. So any enemy above or below or whatever around the corner, they can't shoot it. Take this example. Here's another good one. So I know that the enemy is in that train car, so I send my drone out, and I'm doing a ton of damage. I'm destroying gadgets, all from the safety, of a few meters away. Whereas with Sineva, you have to get up close and personal, which leaves you susceptible, as I mentioned, to flanking attacks or from the left or from the right. Also, the Volt Arrow you cannot block unless it hits your shield directly. So if you're taking any damage from a Volt Arrow, there's this animation where Sineva, he puts his hand up to block his eyes or block his face, but then removes the shield. So you're completely vulnerable to enemy bullets now. The whole point of the shield is to block stuff, but for whatever reason, the Volt Arrow can't block that. You also cannot block incoming fire damage. So that's another example there. You can't see anything. He blocks the whole screen. So not only can you not see, but you're also taking damage. Flamethrowers or incendiary grenades, you cannot block those. The razor wire is okay, but it can be destroyed by enemies. So, like right here, and then I miss the grapple, and then I'm taking fire damage. So it's like the worst case scenario for Sineva to be locked in there. But what else am I going to do? I have to be up close to these enemies. Here, I'm not sure how I missed. There was 3 people in that corner, and I missed all of them. I think I would prefer to just use grenades, like a regular incendiary grenade or frag grenade over the razor wire. And the grapple hook, while at times when it works, it's great. And you can pull in friendlies for them to be revived, which is, I think, a lesser known feature of the grapple hook. However, just like his entire kit, it's extremely situational that's actually going to be, useful. I think that this particular map, Ascension, offers some good opportunities for Sineva, but other maps like Cracked, anytime you get out into open space, Sineva is just completely screwed. Also, like magnetic bombs or rocket launchers, things like that. There's just too many other gadgets or other grenades or abilities where you can counter Sineva that makes using the shield for any extended period of time worth it. And to be honest, maybe I'm using him wrong. Maybe this is not how you're supposed to play this character, and you're only supposed to use the shield in specific scenarios, like close quarters, and maybe I'm forcing it a little bit too much, but who knows? And he is still an engineer, so he can still heal and try to shoot tanks unless they have active defenses, but he does have a repair kit, and you can, of course, build covered things. So you can still use rocket launchers. You can still use mines, flamethrowers. I believe he has the EMP launcher available as well. That was a pretty far grapple. I'm surprised that actually worked. I don't think I've ever played a character in a game who is at the same time overpowered, but then also extremely counterable and situational. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what my review is or my thoughts are, I would say that they're pretty mixed. If you're a new player to Delta Force, I can't really recommend this character or this operator. I think that Shepard would be better, or Ulru. I believe that I'm saying that correctly. I'm probably not, but let me know in the comments how to pronounce his name. Now here in this example, you can see that the shield, the front part, as I mentioned, it can get destroyed. Well, it's completely shot out. So I'm entirely vulnerable or susceptible now to getting shot directly in the face. So there goes the shield. My impressions with Sineva, as I mentioned, are mixed. And at times I had a lot of fun, but overall, I just don't think that he's all that great or useful in Warfare. I'd be interested to see what the statistics are of what his pick rate is, if he's underutilized or, you know, picked only on specific maps. I'm sure that there's some maps or scenarios where he's totally, like, you can't kill him at all, and maybe that's what I should have been doing during my review process. But either way, thank you so much for joining me for this video. Let me know what you think about Sineva and if there are any other operators that you'd like me to cover in the future. I think next for me, we'll continue with the engineers, and we will do a in-depth guide of Shepard, as I believe he's one of the best to get started with. Thank you so much for joining me.